Trig quiz number 6. Sine law and cosine law. And I need to make sure that I am in degrees, because right now I bet you I'm in radians on my graphing calculator, because I had Math 12 earlier today. Yes, I am. All right, it says find big B. You know what? Let's label. It says angle A is 23 degrees, so that means that's 23 degrees right there. Little a is 7. Little b is 13, and it says find big B. I do have a pair right there. So I can use the sine law. Sine of big A over little a equals sine of big B over little b. It's going to be the sine of 23 over 7 equals the sine of mystery angle I don't know over little b I do know. Chalice, I'm going to cross multiply. And I think I'll get this. Sine of b equals 13 sine 23 over 7. Now here we're finding an angle, Zach, so to find an angle I'm going to end up using the second function button on my calculator. That you've got to memorize for the test, sorry. When did you test, by the way? What did I say? A week from today. 13 sine 23 divided by 7. That's the decimal. Second function of that answer. 46.5 degrees, and this is where we said my diagram sucks. Angle B, 46.5 degrees. If you said 47 degrees, I guess that's okay, but let's get in the habit of not rounding up too much, because this angle looks like it's 130 degrees. Actually, it is. Really? Yeah. Put your pencil down. Get your calculators out. Can you do me a favor right now? Can you find the sine of 30 degrees on your calculator? You get 0.5? So that means if you go second function sine 0.5, it gives you your original angle back, right? Gives you 30. Can you find the sine of 150 degrees on your calculator, please? 0.5. So if you go second function sine of 0.5, it should give you 150 degrees back, right? It doesn't. That's the problem this triangle ran into, and I've been avoiding that as much as I can this unit. As it turns out, Rachel, there is more than one answer for a lot of the sine questions. For example, if you all right now find the sine of 120 degrees on your calculator, I think it's going to be like 0.866 or something like that. Okay? And you also find the sine of 60 degrees on your calculator, it's the same decimal. So if you're going backwards, your calculator has no way of knowing which one you want. And there is a way you can actually figure out by looking at your diagram which one you want. We actually do it in Principles of Math 12. I'm glossing over it here in Foundations 11. I'll make sure I give you better triangles than this. Okay. But for what it's worth, that's why. Angle C, that gets you 1 mark, by the way. Sorry, that gets you 2 marks. 1 mark for the equation, 1 mark for the answer. Angle C is going to be 180 degrees minus 23 minus 46.5. I can use angle sum of triangles. 180 minus 23 minus 46.5, 46.5, Mr. Dueck. 110.5. Little c. Now, I could use angle B to find little c. That would be bad test writing, though, because maybe I've made a mistake on angle B. I'll use A. I'm going to go sine of big A, 23, over 7, equals sine of big C, which I just figured out, 110.5, over little c. When I cross multiply, I'll get little c equals 7 sine of 110.5 divided by sine of 23. 7 sine of 110.5 divided by sine of 23. You get 16.8? Yeah? 16.78. 16.8. 2 marks for that. Okay. Number 2. Find little p. Oh, let's label everything. Big P, 34 degrees. Little k, 9.4. Little n, 8.6. Little p, I'll call that A because it's going to be the cosine law. How do I know? Rachel, there is no pair, and also it's side angle side. That's the other way I know it's cosine law. Cosine law says this: a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine big A. Joel, we have to memorize that? No, I'll give that to you. Which one am I going to make you memorize? SOHCAHTOA. That you got to know. So you have to know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent is opposite over adjacent. But the sine law, the cosine law, and the cosine law rewritten to get the angle by itself, I'll give you all of those. Oh, it doesn't matter which one of these is B and C. 8.6 squared plus 9.4 squared minus 2 times 8.6 times 9.4 cosine of 34. 8.6 squared plus 9.4 squared minus 2 times 8.6 times 9.4 cosine of 34. And the answer is 28 point... Oh, no. What did I almost forget to do? Yeah, don't forget the square root. A equals the square root of 28.28. $5.32. Two marks. Sam, if I was marking this, I'd probably go 1 mark for the equation, 1 mark for the answer. If you got the right answer, you're going to get 2 out of 2. The risk is show work, because if you make a mistake, you can still get some marks, right? Turn the page. Okay, another find everything. Z is 55 degrees. Angle Y is 100 degrees. Little y is 12.5. Oh, angle X I can find easy. That's going to be angle sum of triangles. It's going to be 180 minus 100 minus 55. Is it 25? Yeah. Hey, I can do math in my head. I guess 2 marks for that, Nikki. Hey, easy marks, I hope. Little z. Okay. Here's my pair. I'm going to use that for the rest of this. So I'm going to go the sine of angle y over little y equals the sine of z, 55, over little z. Cross multiply, z is going to end up being 12.5 sine 55 divided by sine 100. .5 sine 55 divided by sine 100. You get 10.4? Yeah. 1 mark for the cross multiply equation, the equation, 1 mark for the answer. And let's find x. It's going to be the same idea. I'll still use sine of 100 over 12.5 equals the sine of x, which was 25, over little x, which I'm trying to find. Cross multiply, little x equals 12.5 sine of 25 over sine 100. And Joel, this is one of the nice things about getting a really good calculator. You'll notice it's exactly the same numbers here. All I have to do is change the 55 to a 25. It's way less typing if you can backspace and edit on your calculator. I've gone on my calculator to rent. By the way, next unit, I'll be bringing out the graphing calculators, and you'll be able to use them in class. Good ones. The only problem is I can't let you take them home, but what I will do is I'll email you a link so that if you have a PC, sorry, no Mac, but a PC, you can install this same calculator as a virtual one on your home computer. And I'm going to make the assumption that everybody has access to a computer at home. Sorry. 5.36? Yep. Hello. Again, calling 2 marks, 1 mark for that, 1 mark for that. The toughest question, this one. If you know all the sides, Adrian, and you have to find the angles. Okay. Well, let's label it. Little a, 37. Little c, 40. 44. Sam, you notice I don't have a pair, and here's also, it's side, side, side. See it? That's how I know it's cosine law. The cosine law said this. Except on your last quiz, I also said, for what it's worth, cos A equals a squared minus b squared minus c squared all over negative 2bc. Those of you that are in physics, you'll notice I just rearranged the formula and got the cos by itself. So I'm going to use that to find big A. Cosine of big A is going to be little a, 37 squared, minus little b, doesn't matter, 40 squared, minus 44 squared, all over negative 2 times 40 times 44. Care to have more than one number on the top? Brackets. More than one number on the bottom? Brackets. So I'm going to type it like this. Bracket. 37 squared minus 40 squared minus 44 squared. Close the top off. Divided by bracket. And you may notice, by the way, Nicole, when I write, I'll use brackets for multiplying because that, I think, stands out more when I write. But when I type on my calculator, I'll actually use the times button because it's less typing and it stands out more on my calculator. Whoop, not times 0. So I don't use brackets as a multiplication symbol on my calculator. And I get angle A, what, huh? Oh, no. That's the cosine. 0.6152625. How can I figure out how big angle A is? Oh, to find an angle, second function cosine of that. I think it's supposed to be exactly 52 degrees. 1 mark for that, 1 mark for the answer. But if you got the right answer, Chelsea, 2 out of 2. Now, here's where I'm going to get clever. Chelsea, how big is angle A? I'm going to put that there, and now, look. I have a pair. I can use the sine law for the rest of this if I want to. You could start over, call this little a, or big A, and little, and redo the cosine, redo this, and then redo it this way. It's going to be faster with the sine laws. I'm going to choose to use the sine law. Sine of 52 over 37 equals h. Sine of big H over 44. Sine H equals 30, no, not right, Mr. Dueck. 44 sine 52 over 37. Again, I'm going to use the shift button because I'm finding an angle. It's going to be 44 times sine 52 divided by 37. Second function sine of that. 69.6. If you said 70, I'd take it, but 69.6. Oh, do I know 2 angles now, Chelsea? Then I know the third. I was going to actually use the sine law, and I went, wait a minute, I can go angle sum of triangles. Angle C is going to be 180 minus 52 minus 69.6. Angle C is going to be 180 minus 52 minus my last answer, 58.4. 2 marks for that. If you would be so kind as to give yourself a lovely score out of 20 right here, and then please make sure your name is on it, pass them in. Natasha, you're going to hand in the quiz with your name on it. Put a big omit at the top so I know not to give you a 0. Otherwise, if I don't get a quiz, I give it a 0. So take a quick look at quiz number 7 here that I just handed out. Trig quiz 7. I think it's just a 1-pager. What I like is it has a little bit of everything on it. It's got some SOHCAHTOA, it's got some sine law, some cosine law. 5 marks, 1 mark each. What else are you working on today? Work on the trig review, and then I'm going to give you one more thing here, and then we're done. Homework from the workbook. So I haven't assigned much from the workbook, Joel. I wanted to use that for review, just like we did for geometry. I gave you a bunch of questions from different pages. So on the day of the test, which is what day for you guys? Wednesday, bring your workbook. You'll hand that in too, and I'll check to see if you've done the homework. What questions am I going to assign from the workbook? Pardon me? Let's find out. I just want to get, honestly, I want to give you the tricky ones. I think you guys have mastered the easy stuff, so I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of practice. I'm looking for curveballs in particular right now, weird stuff. So I think, nah. Page, what page? 191. This is the practice test at the end of the unit. Number 2, 3. Mr. Dueck, why don't you go 2 through 5, comma. 7 through. Having fun back there, Nicole? Because you know I live for you to be, having fun. $11. $4, which is a numerical question suddenly. And could we do that? Yeah, could we do that? Okay, first of all, angle CPQ is 35 degrees. That's 8. That's, so you have a picture. Written on page 198, has a bit of geometry review as well. I think you can try that. I think you can. Okay. So you're working on the review, if you haven't already. That's this one here. Natasha, you can ask David. There was a typo on the little. I gave you the answer key. but there was a typo on question number 17. The answer was really 6.84. I forgot to square root on the cosine law, which, as I said, is the most common mistake that people make. Other than that, folks, I think you guys are in really good shape. Monday we'll go over the quiz. I'll take any questions from the review. We may even start the next unit. Wednesday's your test. Homework from the workbook was that.